Welcome back. We are here with 1404. We currently have 3 children and 1 on the way that does not belong to Thomas. Very excited about that. So let's hop in. Today we are going to be doing a vampire story, but it is going to impact our main household, so that'll be exciting. And we had a few babies be born overnight, and actually they all survived, which was super cool. So let's look at our roles. Let's get going. I'm ready to hop into this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 infants, 18 or 20. 1. Ooh. Ouch. The very first one. Oh no, not Zion. I liked him. Oh. That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Okay, we have 2 toddlers, including our Alexandra. I don't know why I can't talk all of a sudden. 1, 2. Whew, she survived. Okay. We have 2 children, but one of them is a vampire. 1 or 19 for our vampire. Survived. And then Isabel Armstrong, who is the oldest Armstrong daughter, a 9 or a 19, or the oldest Armstrong child. So she survives as well. Wolfram Bennett can't get a 7. 7. And will he get married? How many children will he have? Only 2. Sorry, Wolfram. Wolfram Bennett 2. We'll have to slide him in somewhere. I got a lot of weddings coming up. Let's put him here. I don't think there's any. There's just really not a lot of girls being born. Well, there is a lot of girls being born. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. I don't have a lot of girls for marrying. Okay, so Giles and Maurice are both becoming young adults. 2, 6, 11, 13, 14. 14, 2, 6, 11, 13, 14. Whew, that was good. I was worried about Maurice because he just got married and doesn't have an heir. And he is the, like, okay, I'll show you why I was worried. So they're not having babies. They're dead. His brother rolled to join the church. Maurice and Rollo are the only boys left in the Trimboli family to have children, which is wild. I mean, look at how many kids they had, and there's only 2 boys that are going to have children. So, and we don't even know that Rollo is going to have children. So Maurice really needed to survive so that him and his wife could have children. Unfortunately, their eldest son just died like a second ago. You saw it. Okay. Benchy Trimble. Oh, so Benchy Sr. is going to die. That's unfortunate. Here he is, right? Yeah. No, Benchy 2. Yeah, it must be him. Is going to die. Oh. I really liked him. He was great. And so is Gabriella Bennett. Wait, isn't Gabriella in a household with all children? I'm going to have to double check that before I kill her, because I don't want the children to disappear. Yeah, we're going to have to put them in the orphanage or something. Okay. All right, vampire roles. I really hope Eleanor survives so that I can tell her story. That would be really awkward if she didn't survive, because then my entire plan for this part would be ruined. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vampires. Eleanor. Okay. 2. They can't get a 9. 3, 4. Okay, they've been accused. Now they can't get a 3. Okay. 5. All right, everyone survived that. And then how many humans are there? 1, 2. Well, no. She doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also 5. They can't get an 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Everyone's surviving. Okay, so let's do this. I'm really excited. So Eleanor, if you remember, is over here. Here she is. She's gorgeous. She is Henry's daughter, one of the, this was very unlucky. She and her brother are the only ones who can pass on the Vitor vampire line. Besides, like, he's done having children. Technically, Ella is still able to have children, but she's running the orphanage and she already had 2 kids and 2 husbands die. So I'm kind of like, maybe that's it for you, Ella. So this is really where it's at. So basically, I'll preface this by saying Ella is also not living in Forgotten Hollow. She's living in Henford-on-Bagley in the orphanage. So the only vampire lady left in Forgotten Hollow is our Eleanor. So let's hop into the game and find out more about her. All right, so here we are with Eleanor in Forgotten Hollow. She's currently playing chess. She is living in a house with literally every other Vitor vampire. There are only 5 vampires left in Forgotten Hollow, and 4 of them are men, and one of them is Vlad. So there is that. There she is. She's gorgeous. And she is they're living in this cramped little house. Like, life for vampires has not been good since Vlad took over. A lot of them have died. There is not any new vampires being born. And actually, I was mistaken about one thing, though. Ella does have a vampire child, but again, that's not in Forgotten Hollow, so it's not really relevant to what's going on here. But so basically, Eleanor is the only vampire woman in Forgotten Hollow left. And so Vlad has come here to talk to her. He is basically telling her that, he's basically going to force her to marry him so that they can have vampire babies, because that is the only, she's the only woman. So there's only one opportunity for him to, continue on his line. All of his children with Regina are deceased. Okay, and a new baby has just been born to Millicent, so we're going to name him Galileo. And yes, so Vlad is just like, I need to expand my empire. All of his children with Regina are dead, so he needs to have some more children and just all this stuff. And she's just like, no way, like, you're gross. You ruined our lives. Look around you. We're living in squalor. Well, you live in the castle. And like, she's just like so not into it. And he's just like, well, I'm the master of Forgotten Hollow, so you got to do what I say. And she is just so not into that. She is not interested in being used to just make more, pure vampires. She's like, my mother was a human, right? But she's like, look at her. She's crying. She's so upset. She's going to talk to Henry and talk to him. And he's just basically going to say to her, like, look, I couldn't even defeat Vlad when he came and defeated me. Like, there's nothing I can do. The other kids are a human and a child. Eleanor doesn't have any family left to stick up for her. She doesn't have any, she has a brother, but he's a kid, right? So basically Henry is like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Like, I don't know what to do. No one has ever the only person who ever defeated Vlad was Lilith, and Lilith was only ever defeated by Regina. And so Eleanor is thinking, okay, well, who defeated Regina? It was the Lord, right? So she is going to sneak out of Forgotten Hollow and go to the Lord's house and hope that she can, come across as sympathetic and, hope that maybe his gripe isn't against all vampires and all of that. So that's where she's coming. She's coming here to talk to Gilbert. We got to get her out of the sun. We really got to get her out of the sun. So she's here to talk to Gilbert. Let's get her inside. She's very tense. She's really upset. She just doesn't know what to do. So she's going to come and see Gilbert, and she has black eyes, so he's going to know right away that she's a vampire. And he's like, oh my gosh, there's a vampire here. Like, are you here to take revenge? Are you here to kill us? And she's like, no, 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 no. Like, I promise, just hear me out. Another baby is being born. so another baby does survive, and we will name that baby Pascal. And it's funny because apparently Pascal means like born on Easter, and it is Easter. So cool. Anyway, everyone has had their babies now. And that is Charles's first affair baby with his lady. Anyway, so she is, we keep getting interrupted. She is talking to Gilbert and she's saying, look, I hate Vlad just as much as you do. All the vampires hate Vlad. It is so hard to live in Forgotten Hollow as a vampire now. Like, he's ruined our lives. He's ruined everything. And please, if you could just help me, like, he wants to marry me and I'm trying to get out of that situation. Could you please just like give me, safe haven? And, it will help that you're, pissing off the guy who helped kill your family members. So Gilbert basically agrees to allow her to stay. But, is like, I'm keeping a close eye on you. You better not try to drink from anyone. And, because he's kind of a softie, right, Gilbert? He is a bit of a softie. And he is also kind of like happy to stick it to Vlad. Like, oh, if Vlad can't marry her, then no new vampires can be born in Forgotten Hollow. So that helps him also of keeping the vampire population down and all that stuff. So anyway, we are going to move her into the house because they actually became pretty friendly. And if you'll remember, each sim day a is a quarter, so it's 3 months, and so it's they we're going to do kind of like a montage of moving forward in time over the year with them. So basically, they were able to actually become friends pretty quickly. So over the first couple of months, everything is cool, everything is calm. They make a little area for her to keep her coffin in the house, and she is able to just kind of lay low here. Nobody knows where she is, and um, they are just becoming friends with each other, and she's really good with the kids. She never tried to drink from anyone. She's just very nice, and she's very grateful for him getting her out of that situation. No one else was going to help her. So that is where we're starting the section of time where Gilbert is just trying to be a good person, but also stick it to Vlad, right? So there's that. Also, I don't know why this wall is being so difficult. It's really just a huge pain. Okay, so there is her room. And I'm not a good builder, don't look at me. So basically, they are becoming friends pretty fast, and he is just really happy that, she's a good person, and it turns out that she's really cool. And so that's pretty great. And so now that they're like pretty good friends, he's thinking to himself, like, how can I really help her? Like, she can't live here as a vampire. It's not going to work. And so he starts doing some research on vampires. So we're going to start having him learn the vampire lore skill in just a moment. Here we go. So he is going to start learning the vampire lore skill. He wants to help out his friend. He really wants to find a way for her to live normally outside of Forgotten Hollow so that she never has to, be forced to go back or be ostracized in this community after everything that vampires have done, right? So we are going to have him start learning this skill. And honestly, it's really quick to learn this skill. Like, the vampire lore skill is super easy to learn. We got to level 15 in 24 sim hours. So there's that. So he is just going to read. And again, this is kind of like a time skip, right? So it's a bit of a, months go by and they're good friends, and he's learning the vampire lore skill, and he's just discovering more and more things that can help her. Like, oh, did you know about plasma packs? You don't have to eat the fruit straight up. Like, why don't you try to drink those, instead of having to drink the fruit? And just like stuff like that. Oh, did you know that there's a drink that will let you go outside in the sunlight? Like, just stuff that is helpful to her quality of life versus her just hiding away in her coffin in this castle. So, see, we're already on the second book. So, yes, he is doing all of that. And he's getting really into it, and he's just like learning so much, and he's thinking to himself, like, this would have been really helpful. Previously, when we were dealing with vampires, we could have had everybody put like garlic braids up on their doors and all this stuff. So he is learning a lot and wanting to protect his family, but also wanting to help out Eleanor, because who doesn't love a damsel in distress, right? So all this time is going by, and he's kind of being a shut-in during this time, where he is just really spending all of his free time researching and trying to figure all of that out. But at the same time, he's still getting closer to Eleanor. She's helping out with the kids because she can't leave the house, right? Really. So she is just kind of becoming closer with everyone in the family. And then things take a turn, as I'm sure you anticipated. I am nothing if not predictable. So things take a bit of a romantic turn, except he's stuck, so she's going to have to do it. Okay, so things take a romantic turn and they start to, get a little flirty, like a little here and there in passing. And, over time they grow closer and it just becomes more and more. And honestly, he's not even thinking about Emmeline. Like, I know that she's his mistress and he loves her a lot, but like with all the drama with Thomas and him being like basically a homebody this whole time, like he hasn't really been going out or seeing her or doing anything. And honestly, his mind is just filled with Eleanor, all the time. And I don't know if you'd let a vampire kiss your neck, but he will. So anyway, look how fast their romance goes up. So they are just really into it, and they're okay. They're gonna go woohoo. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's just a woohoo. It's only 30%. It took me like 50 woohoos and a try for baby to get Emmeline pregnant. So, yes. So here we go. He is back to the studying. He now that he's in love with her, he knows that he can't marry her. She's a vampire. Everybody will know she's a vampire because of her eyes. Like there's just no good solution for him. He needs to find something that will make it so that she can live happily here with him, and he is hoping that she'll say yes and not want to do anything else. So it's already Thursday, so many a month have gone by. Now it's Friday, yeah, so it's been like 6 months. And so Vlad is ripping his hair out, wondering where she went because he was planning on marrying her ASAP because he wants more vampire babies. So um, she's totally disappeared. No one knows where she went. And so there's that. We're getting to the ultimate vampire tome. So Gilbert is about to get to level 15 really quickly. Like I said, that was very fast. Um, and so he is just learning everything he can about vampires and is there anything. He's getting to the end and he's getting worried that he can't help her. But then he gets to level 15 and he finds the cure for vampirism. Yes, he found it. He found the cure, and he is going to spend a lot of money trying to find all of the ingredients and everything. And he doesn't want to say anything to Eleanor yet. He wants to say anything when he is ready to actually do the thing. He doesn't want to get her hopes up on whether the cure is real or not. So he's looking at all of this stuff, and he is getting all of these these things. Also, I don't know why garlic is in a totally different section than the rest of the plants. That's weird. Anyway, so we're going to get all of that, and then he is going to go to her. And before he does that, though, he is going to call over Emmeline because look at how pregnant she is. So she's just basically going to be like, I haven't seen you in a while. Like, what's going on? You know that this is your baby, right? Like, and he's like, yeah, okay, but um, he's going to basically tell her, look, I realize now that our relationship was never like the real thing. Like, it was never true love. Now that I know what true love feels like, um, I think we should break it off. He's basically breaking up with her and he's saying, you and Thomas are on your own now for money. I'm not going to take care of you. I'm not going to worry about you. I'm going to, worry about my own life and be honorable and take care of the woman that I love and take care of my children. She's like, what about your children with me? And he basically tells her that he's not going to recognize them as legitimate. Um, well, even if, like, he's not going to recognize them as part of his family. He's going to, and, you know, they don't have DNA or anything. So that stinks for Emmeline, whatever. I can't ever get her name right. Anyway, so he comes back and he proposes to Eleanor and he says, Eleanor, will you marry me? I will cure you of your vampirism. And she's like, she couldn't believe it, that there's a cure, that she can get out of this and that they can live happily ever after. And, you know, she didn't mind being a vampire, but it did stop her from living her life the way that she wanted to. So she is really happy about this. She's going to become the lady and she's not going to be a vampire anymore. And they're going to live happily ever after. So they're all really excited about that. And Gilbert is just so happy to have kind of found peace. I mean, even Sarah was a relationship that he was kind of forced into by his parents, and this is the first time that he's really fallen in love like that. He thought he fell in love with Emmeline, but it wasn't, it was just kind of, you know, not as deep. So here we are. Actually, she is pregnant, so I don't know if the baby is going to be human or a vampire. She got pregnant after one woohoo, which is, you know what, just great, because I had so many problems getting Emmeline pregnant. And then Eleanor gets pregnant in 2 seconds. Anyway, so that is where we're leaving Gilbert and Eleanor. They are so happy to start their new life together. There are no vampire ladies left, so what is going to happen in Forgotten Hollow? We'll see in just a moment after I get her all made over. I'm just going to change her outfits into a different color. I don't know why you're wearing those glasses. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So let's just switch her over to red. Get a new picture of her with her eyes looking normal. It's definitely an adjustment. Also, she probably thinks her body feels weird because she just is not a vampire anymore, but it's really because she's pregnant. Anyway, so that is how Eleanor found happiness, how Gilbert found true love, and how the rest of the vampires got so angry that they decided they needed to do something. Let's just update the family tree with all of this. So Gilbert Armstrong and Eleanor Armstrong Navator, I don't know. And so now there's no female vampires left. What are they just gonna do? Live forever like this? So the Henry is basically gonna come up to Vlad and see, like, she's gone forever now. She, you know, you've ruined everything, and he's gonna like beat up Vlad and just take him by surprise there. And they won't spar each other, so I didn't know what else to do. But basically, even though Henry isn't as strong as Vlad, he's basically going to say to Vlad, there's nothing left for you here. There's no female vampires. You can't make this place the way that you want it to be. And so he basically tells Vlad, you should leave so that the rest of us can get on with our lives. So Vlad is basically going to be like, I'm not leaving because you said so, but Vlad is going to flee Forgotten Hollow once again. I mean, I'm just going to leave him in his castle, but yes, so Vlad has left once again. We are not going to roll for him or anything anymore. He will, you know, come again one day, but he has left for now because there is nothing for him here. There's no empire. It's just like a bunch of guys who can't do anything and are living in squalor. So that is what's going on there. And Vlad has left, you know, he says it's of his own volition. And we came back just in time for Emmeline to give birth to Gilbert's baby, which is not going to be recognized, unfortunately, for her. And it's a boy, finally a boy, and it's Gilbert's baby. And it survives. Okay, so the baby has survived, and as a FU to Gilbert, she's naming his son after Thomas. So there's that. And then it's actually twins, so there's another girl too. And we're going to name her Serena. So we're going to name our next daughter, Serena. So here we go. Very nice. That is a lot of children for us. That's 5 children, but it's only one boy. I don't know if we'll have more kids. I don't know, but that's a later us problem. Maybe they'll, I mean, you can only fit 8 Sims in the household, so if anything, they'll only have one more kid. I was hoping for 2 boys, but we definitely, I feel like, are going to be able to have an heir in this household. Like, we have 5 kids. One of them is definitely going to survive. Okay, so Thomas the second is now our heir. So that is pretty good. We have a boy finally. It's not even Thomas's boy, but it's okay because he doesn't know that. Watch the kid grow up to look exactly like Gilbert. Sorry, Thomas. Okay, so Thomas is still gambling, and Emmeline is basically like, you can't keep doing this because Gilbert isn't going to give us any more money. She's going to blame it on Thomas and say, you made him so angry and you blackmailed him too many times, and now that's it. Like, he's not going to give us anything else. We have to figure out our own way. And Thomas is just like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm going to win big. It's going to be great. And Emmeline is just like, FML, right? So, so anyway, we have so many babies, but luckily we can age up our infant. Now we have 2 infants, but the other infant is getting aged up into a toddler. So it looks like I thought that now you could do that with MCCC, but actually it looks like she didn't age up. So I don't know what's up with that. I'll have to age her up later in CAS or something and then fix the number of days old she is because that's going to mess that up. But anyway, so I also wanted to look at their kids and see who the kids look like too, right? My dog is snoring behind me in case you hear that, which you probably don't because there's a lot of noise. There's like cars going by. Anyway. So yes, I hope that you really liked this story because I had so much fun with it. I wanted to find a way for Emmeline to not be bailed out of her husband's gambling problems, and I also wanted to find a way to send Vlad away and just all this stuff. I think that it's pretty great. So if we're looking at the kids, it actually does look like Thomas is going to look a lot like Gilbert. He has the kind of like more golden blonde hair, whereas Thomas has the lighter blonde hair. Emmeline has the kind of blue eyes. So there's that. Also, our firstborn, Cecilia, she definitely has Gilbert's eyes, the like hazel color eyes. So yeah, it looks like maybe, but I think that he'll be able to pass probably Thomas the second because his mother has brown hair, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that his hair would be a little darker. Looks like Serena looks a lot like her dad and her mom combined. I say this, but I'm just comparing eye color and hair color. Anyway, so we're updating the family tree. I hope that you enjoyed this story. It was really fun for me to spin it up and get rid of Vlad and have Gilbert actually remarry and find a new love and have Emmeline basically be in a tough spot. So we'll continue with Emmeline's story and her husband's gambling and all of the drama that all of this stuff will bring. So I hope that you're excited, and I'll catch you in the next one.